Welcome to my channel. This is Peace with Alex, and the title of this video is Happiness or Peace. It seems to be something that we all think about and all want to strive towards, is that, I want to be happy. And I want to relate a story of when many years ago, when I was in my 20s, it was like 30 years ago. I was driving and I was listening to the radio. And I don't know the exact circumstances, but they were asking these elementary school kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? And many of the kids gave like standard answers like, oh, I want to be a fireman, a pilot, a doctor, and stuff like that. But one of the kids said, I want to be happy, which really struck me because I thought that was probably the best answer that I've ever heard. And at that point, I thought, yeah, that is something that really doesn't matter what you do in for your job or anything like that. When we get older, what we want is we want to be happy. But as I started thinking about this podcast, I was thinking, is happiness really what we want? And the reason why I question that is because happiness to me is a temporary state. You can be listening to your favorite comedian, you can laugh and enjoy yourself and be in a state of happiness for a while. Or you can go out and you can have some drinks with your friends or be at a party and having great conversation. And you'll be happy from the social atmosphere, and you may even be happier on your way home or maybe even the next day. But eventually you go back to a state of normalcy, and you just go back to your regular life. So it's a temporary state that we're in when we say, okay, well, I'm happy in this moment, but next moment I may not be. Then I thought, okay, well, there's really more contentment that we're talking about. And then I started thinking about that, and I think, well, maybe that's not what it is, because contentment is, again, it's sort of circumstantial. So I'll give you an example. Let's say at your company, they switch out your boss, and the new boss is just very difficult person to get along with, demanding, and you may have been content with your job, but then after this change, you are no longer content, which I would argue is a good thing, because if you're in an abusive situation at your work, that lack of contentment is going to motivate you to try to change things. And let's say, just for argument's sake, the new boss happens to be the owner's son. This person is not going anywhere. So that discontentment is going to motivate you to get yourself on LinkedIn, start sending out your resume, and change your circumstances. So contentment can go in and out of our lives. And, we could be in a state where, for the most part, we are contented, rather, and we have contentment, but there are moments where we may not be so content. And then I thought, well, there is this idea in Buddhism where we want joy. We're cultivating joy in our lives. And I don't know where that term comes from, whether it's just the best translation from either the Pali or the Sanskrit. But to me, that's not quite the thing either, because we may have joyful moments, we may not have joyful moments. So really what it is that there's this elusive thing that we're looking for, that's along those lines: happiness, contentment, joy, things like that. And there's even a branch of psychology called positive psychology. What is it, or what are the elements that make life happy for people, or allow people to be content, or what have you? And after a lot of thought, I really think what it is what we're looking for is peace. Hence why I want to call this podcast Peace with Alex. It is part of my own journey. I have had moments of peace, but, other moments of my life have not been so peaceful. And as I got older, I really started to value peace in my life a lot more. And I really think that having peace in your life is something that can be a constant regardless of where you are emotionally. And I'll give you an example. Unfortunately, my cat died 2 or 3 weeks ago. And clearly I wasn't happy. I shed some tears. I was very sad to see her go. But yet, despite that negative emotion that I was feeling, there was a sense of peace that I had, that she had been suffering at the end. I think it was some neurological condition, and she was no longer suffering. So I could be at peace with the fact that that my cat had died. And so basically the goal of this channel is to try to just look into things. Well, what are the things that bring us peace in life? And what are things, practical things we can do in our life that can maximize, I guess, the amount of peace that we have. And it will be my own journey. Will involve reading, well, not involve, but I will read some books, maybe take some seminars, and it'll be my own journey. And hopefully, as you watch my own journey and as I post these things, that I can bring more happiness or peace into the world and among my audience. And I believe if more people could do this, that generally speaking, hopefully, my hope is that we have a more peaceful and, for the most part, a happier world. So I hope that you will stick with me on this journey, and we'll see where it leads. Thank you for listening. Take care.